Today, President Trump is in Canada for the G7 summit with huge implications on things like trade deals, but also a brewing war. This could be extremely fraught, with some U.S. allies wondering if Donald Trump is with them or against them. All the while, the G7 nations grappling with the threat of the potential of an all-out war in the Middle East. CNN's chief data analyst, Harry Enten, with me right now. All right, with so many things that are sort of heavily weighing over this summit, what are you learning about what the people of these countries think about Donald Trump and whether he is with or against them?
Yeah, I think that this title slide says it all, why Trump faces a tough room at the G7. That is because the countries outside the U.S. who are part of the G7, those folks, not big fans of Donald Trump. Not big fans at all. No confidence Trump will do the right thing when it comes to world affairs. Look at this. All these numbers are at least at 60% or above. You could start off here at the bottom. Japan 61, the UK 62. You go to that next row, Italy 68. We're getting higher and higher and higher. Canada 77. And finally, France 78%. And Germany, 81% of Germans have no confidence that Donald Trump will do the right thing when it comes to world affairs. We're looking at a supermajority in all 6 of these G7 countries besides the U.S. They do not like Donald Trump. They have no confidence in him to do the right thing when it comes to world affairs. And I think that will inform some of the leaders there in those countries going into this G7 summit with Donald Trump. And again, he's just going to face a tough room because those folks in those countries, they don't really like Donald Trump.
How much has this changed since Trump was elected?
Yeah, this is, I think, you see all these numbers here and you go, okay, has this always been the case that there's been such low confidence in the U.S. leader? Take a look here. Okay, no confidence that the U.S. president will do the right thing when it comes to world affairs. We're going to look at a median of those 6 countries that we just saw on the other slide. You see it here. In 2025, 73%. The median in those countries have no confidence that Donald Trump will do the right thing when it comes to world affairs. With Joe Biden, look how much lower that number was. It was basically 50-50 at 51%. So the percentage of those G7 countries that have no confidence that Donald Trump will do the right thing has gone completely through the roof. We're talking about a 22-point jump in just a year's time. Rough room, tough room for Donald Trump.
Tough room, even with one of our closest allies, both by land and by culture, Canada. Do they want even a deal with Trump?
Yeah, this to me is the number that kind of says it all, right? We're talking about allies of the United States here. No ally has been closer to us over the years than Canada has been, but Canadians are reducing reliance on the U.S. as a trade partner. Look at this. 91% say that, yes, that they, in fact, that Canadians should, in fact, reduce reliance on the U.S. as a trade partner. You never see numbers that high. I'm laughing because it's just unprecedented compared to just 9% who disagree. 9%, that's about the percentage of Americans who believe we faked the moon landing. When you're in this territory, you know that we're in a lot of trouble. Donald Trump's in a lot of trouble when it comes to Canadians' views on him.
That is an unprecedented number in any poll, anywhere, anytime.
Yeah.
All right. Harry Enten, thank you so much.
Thank you.